Jen. You guys have had this task force since June. There was the executive order back in February. You've been talking about how the president's been on top of this for months, but it seemed to get a lot worse before it's gotten better. And often pointing to the pandemic as being a contributing factor. We've been in the pandemic for a year and a half now. So why did it take until today to get these kinds of commitments that we're seeing from the various groups that are here with the president today?
Well, I will say that we have had, maybe everybody wasn't here for this, but we have had the chairs of our supply chain task force in here at least twice to provide updates on the work that has been ongoing under this administration. One of those issues has certainly been ensuring that there aren't bottlenecks at ports, but there are a lot of other issues that we've been working to address in the global supply chain. One of them has certainly been the increase in the vulnerabilities in our food system, and something that we've seen impact some communities across the country and impact the price of goods sometimes when people go to the grocery store. That's one of the reasons the president pressed for more competition, why Secretary Vilsack has been focused on this as one of his primary issues, one of the reasons we announced the Food Supply Chain Loan Guarantee Program. And I would certainly say that over the course of the last several months, when people go to the grocery store and they're trying to buy a pound or 2 pounds, 5 pounds, however big their family is, of meat, that's an issue that has been impacting them nearly every single day. We also know that there are issues in the supply chain as it relates to housing and the cost of housing across the country. That's one of the reasons the president has been so focused and the supply chain task force has been focused, and there's money also in some of his proposals he signed into law to address that issue, to reduce the cost of lumber and make sure that that is available so that new houses can be built and we can address the housing shortage and address housing prices. So I would say for average people sitting at home, they're not focused just on the port. Of course they are. They're focused on getting their goods, but they're focused on the cost of goods. They're focused on how much meat costs. They're focused on what their checkbook looks like. And we've been working to address each of those issues in the supply chain from the beginning of this administration.
The remedies you guys have come up with are going to take some time to actually have an impact. I mean, expediting commercial driver licenses for truck drivers, getting ports to 24/7 hours. This is going to potentially take some time. Is there any consideration that the president would declare a national emergency, have the military help with this kind of thing, or get money from the National Defense Fund to try to help these companies that are now having to work overtime hours with labor shortages?
Well, we are continuing to press and look for ways that we can address the bottlenecks in the supply chain. And this is an important and vital step. We want to, of course, give the time to implement it, to your point, but we will continue to look for any additional steps we can take to ease the burden on families across the country.
And then if the president has also pointed to this situation as a good reason to pass the bipartisan hard infrastructure bill, why then did he not push for a vote on that bill when he had a chance a couple of weeks ago so that this time could be truncated a little bit?
Well, because you need the majority of people in Congress to vote for something in order to sign it into law. And also because as it relates to addressing a range of issues in our economy, as much as wages are up and unemployment is down, we also recognize there are longer-term issues we want to address, including inflation. And that is something, while it is going to come down next year, and those are the predictions, the Build Back Better agenda, the president's economic agenda, will help bring that down. That is what 17 Nobel laureates have told us and have told all of you. So he wants his entire agenda passed, and that's what he thinks will be good for the economy long term. And you, of course, need the majority of votes in both Congresses to get that done. Go ahead.
It's sort of a